Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in again to another episode of CivilianTacticalWeapons.com. This will be the first episode for the 2009 New Year, and I'm actually going to talk about tactical sights, reflex sights. This here is a LaRue LT624. It's made by LaRue Tactical. It's an option for a red dot sight that is a military law enforcement grade sight. This is not your $50 sight you buy at a gun show that breaks 2 months later with instructions all in Chinese and you can't understand it. This is a high quality product. It's actually made by a company, LaRue Tactical, which is actually based in Texas. It is designed for high impact, so you can actually beat these things up. The way the design is actually a reinforced hood over it to prevent it against any excessive banging or damage you're going to do to this thing. The couple of unique things about this is it's very light. When you go to the website CivilianTacticalWeapons.com and read the article portion of this, remember the videos are just a portion of the overall article. I have all sorts of snapshots, really close-in snapshots, because there's no way I can show you all the individual components I'm talking about here. This is very, very small. Nice thing about this is if you are looking for a red dot reflex sight for example, a pistol, to mount on a pistol, this is a great option. Other things too, this is actually an AK with the rail mount kit on it. I'm going to show you how easy it is and how it sits, and you'll get a better idea of the size of it. First off, it pops on very easy and locks, and as you can see, it sits very low. When you think about the center of your sight, of where you're aiming, to the center of the barrel, you're looking at that distance. You know, I have this amount of distance as my play distance, and then the sight has to adjust for that. This sight here, I highly recommend to anyone looking at a PS90. The PS90 triple rail system, these triple rails make the sight sit so high off of the gun. So if you think about this distance I'm talking about, the center of the barrel to where your optics are, if I were to put an EOTech on a PS90, I mean my sight would be sitting up here. So I'm looking at a huge distance that I have to adjust for within the sight. For a gun that high, you want something very small and low and stays as flush to the gun as possible. This is a solid pick. Some of you who may have bought the PS90s and during the promotion that FN had where you got the Seymour sights, these pretty much are upgraded replacement versions of Seymour's is the best way of describing it. Seymour is a different company, it's not LaRue Tactical. They have a competing product, but this here is actually a better product from a durability standpoint if you're really going to beat it up. Seymour, of course, will probably disagree with me on that, but when you're looking at uses out in the field, there have been different reports and people have told me about problems with their Seymour sights in the field. Whereas, you know, you bang them, the glass loosens on them, and you have to sit there and try to repair them. These things here are designed by LaRue Tactical to really take a serious beating. If durability is not really a concern for you, and you can get a Seymour a little cheaper, that may be a completely valid option. This is more expensive than a Seymour, though. That's the other thing you have to think about. The LaRue's LT624 starts at $399, is the MSRP of this. You can probably pick it up for a few bucks cheaper at a gun show. A couple of unique things about this versus any other red dot scope out there is there's auto and on. Okay, on means the red dot's at full brightness. I mean, the luminance is max. If you set it to auto, there's a little sensor here, which of course you have to look at the website to see what I'm seeing here. There's no way you can see it on the camera. But there's a little sensor here, and that sensor is picking up the light. It's like an ambient light sensor, and it's picking up the amount of brightness that's out there. When it detects that if you're outdoors, it detects a lot of brightness, it bumps up the ambient light. So what happens is in the sight gets really bright, the red dot. When I shut off all the lights, or I'm in a really dark area, that light automatically drops down and dims. So it'll automatically go in and outdoors, it'll adjust itself. You don't have to sit there and keep adjusting a button or whatever to try to control what is the optimal lighting required. A lot of them have like up to 10 settings. This one you don't worry about, it automatically adjusts. A very, very nice feature if you're going to do any CQB type stuff where you're going in and out, well-lit area, dark area. This is extremely easy on the eyes because of that. Couple other things about this. As far as locking it on and off, it's very easy to get on and off. It's very small, very light, little expensive at $3.99, but pretty much competitively priced with other things out there. There is the pains with something is, of course it's this small. There are a couple of downsides to it. Adjusting of the sights is difficult, not from the standpoint of it's hard to do. The standpoint of it's just a little tedious. You have two holes on the top that are actually adjustment holes. One's a loosening hole and one's an adjustment hole. You have another one of these loosening holes on the back, and this loosening hole in the back controls the hole on top, which is elevation, and then there's a hole off to the right on the top, which is a loosening one, to control the windage one here. So you have to first loosen these two holes to then allow you to adjust the red dot within the sight, and then after you get that all adjusted, you then have to tighten those up, tighten these loosening screws down to be able to lock it down. To get into the battery compartment, which uses a, if you look how small it is, it's a watch battery pretty much. You've got to get a really small flathead screwdriver to pop these two screws open to loosen them, to then flip this little door open to get to this kind of a strange little 3-volt battery you got to put in here. It's a little tedious, shouldn't be something you really need to do all that often, and as far as when we talk about these adjustments, it's not a big deal for me because once you've adjusted it, you really shouldn't be having to readjust a sight all that often anyways. So I don't think that's a real showstopper for me, especially as your red dot scopes you're not using for long range shooting, so you shouldn't have to be readjusting it all that often. It's very quick reflex type shooting, close quarters, so your adjustments shouldn't really have to take that much. But that being said, I want to make sure that, again, the website for this is LaRueTactical.com. This one here is the LT624. And if you are looking at Seymour sights or any of these types of reflexive sights, and you're serious about getting a high quality one, not some $50 made in China, breaks in 2 months type deal, this is a solid option to look at. If you have any questions, please email me at info@civiliantacticalweapons.com. I do not respond to emails through YouTube, so please make sure to send it to info@civiliantacticalweapons.com. And I hope to see you next week's episode.